Hi guys, and welcome to a new video on Bite of Geek. Today I'm going to be unboxing and taking a look at the Razer BlackWidow V3 Mini Hyperspeed with the yellow switches. So not long ago guys, on the channel I reviewed the Razer Huntsman Mini, a 60% form factor keyboard, very nice little keyboard, but for me just was probably a little bit on the small side. And there's a video about that, there's a link up above if you're interested about that. And I've kind of stuck with my Keychron K8 keyboard, which is a little bit bigger, has a few more keys available without having to double up key presses, and stuck with that for my daily keyboard. But I have recently had the opportunity to get my hands on the BlackWidow, and this is 65% form factor keyboard, so slightly bigger than the Huntsman Mini, probably slightly smaller than the Keychron, but has some extra keys on it. It's the yellow switch version, so it's supposed to be quite quiet, so we will have a look at that, have a listen to what the keys are like. But it also has a couple of extra features on it, which I'm really interested to try out. So we're going to unbox it, see what you get inside for your money, and then we'll give it a go. So let's get into it. So guys, here we go. We have the Razer BlackWidow V3 Mini Hyperspeed. So this is a 65% form factor keyboard. It's wireless, so it has Bluetooth connection and also Razer Hyperspeed Wi-Fi connection. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. This is the yellow switch version, so should be quite quiet in use. And yeah, 65% form factor. Shouldn't be too large a keyboard. Certainly, we will compare this against the Razer Huntsman Mini, and also my current keyboard, which is the Keychron K8. So let's get inside the box and we'll see what you get. So just inside the front lip, you have the typical Razer welcome leaflet, and your instruction manual and some Razer stickers. So if you're collecting those on your PC, you've got even more. The leaflet obviously multilingual, but I think also with this particular keyboard you're going to have to read a little bit about how to use this this keyboard because of some of the extra features which I will talk about shortly. So just put those to one side. Keyboard, obviously put that to one side for the moment, and then USB cable, so we'll take a look at that. So USB cable, standard kind of Razer affair nowadays. It's whether you can see that on the camera. So USB-A on one end and USB-C on the other end is it is a braided cable. So, and it is it's quite a long cable. The Huntsman Mini had quite a long cable, so it's well over 1 meter in length. So I think probably edging onto 2 meters probably in terms of cable length. Keyboard itself, so excuse the rattly packaging. Once we just get this out of this, and got a little tear off strip there as well. So that's the keyboard. It's a full RGB keyboard. It's obviously you've got the Razer software that you can install, which gives you enhanced functionality, but you don't have to do that to get RGB effects. I believe this little bit at the front here will actually light up with a Razer logo as well. The keys themselves, nice matte finish, not overly shiny. Keyboards are a reasonable size for 65%, so you've got effectively what you've got is you've got the extra cursor keys here and you've got the extra row here, so no home and end keys in this row. You've got those on shifted keys there, as are your function keys across the top. and this is obviously standard UK layout as well, so you get your pound sign, and you know, nice to get your backslash key there as well for those that need it. And I guess the other thing to note as well is that you've got your media keys here. They are shifted on this row of keys here, and then you know, things like your brightness for your RGB as well, print screen, all that kind of stuff, you know, they're all over there. So in terms of you know, keyboard design, let's see if we can just have a look at that. So it's a bit of a wedge shape, to be honest with you. You know, quite stepped at the back, so you know, quite a nice slanted keyboard. This is almost like, you know, a bit of a mini wrist rest, but it's just part of the design. It doesn't, you know, other than resting your thumbs on it, I can't see it serves much more of a purpose. Yeah, I quite like it actually. You know, it's got a nice weight to it. It's a little bit heavier than the Huntsman Mini that I previously reviewed. If you want to see that video, there's a, you know, link up above on that. Probably around about the same kind of weight as the Keychron keyboard as well. So, you know, link up above if you want to see the video of that keyboard review. It's actually feels quite a nice size. I think this would just on first impressions would make quite a good daily use keyboard. Certainly if you were looking at kind of like a bit of a minimalist setup. I very much think, you know, the Huntsman is more of a gaming keyboard, but this is actually quite nice. Just to give you an idea of dimensions, so I've actually got the Huntsman here. So if I just put that into frame with the BlackWidow Mini, so as you can see, you can clearly see there, you know, there is that extra row of keys there that you get on this keyboard. And you know, the Huntsman Mini is very much a flatter layout, I think, in terms of a keyboard. You know, side by side in terms of dimensions as well. I guess, you know, when you're looking, you can see there, you know, this is a little bit of a taller keyboard as well. So you know, not too big, but better than maybe, you know, the Huntsman Mini. In terms of things like cable connections and stuff like that, so obviously, you know, this is a wireless keyboard, but you can operate it in a wired mode. So you've got your USB-C connection on the back here, and then you've got the 2.4 and the Bluetooth toggle switch on the back there. So I'll come to that in just a second and just explain a little bit more about that. Rubber feet on the plate of the keyboard, and then you've got your stepped feet on the bottom as well if you need that. And then just putting that into focus on the camera there, underneath this little flap here is the dongle for when using the Wi-Fi connection, so you can actually keep that quite nice and hidden out of the way when not in use. I think the only thing on this keyboard is, you know, the USB connection isn't recessed on the keyboard like it is on the Mini. Not a biggie, but, you know, it would have been nice to you know, have had something like that on the back. So yeah, just going back to this toggle switch here. So you can operate this keyboard in two modes. Well, effectively three, because you have got your cable connection, but if you want to use it in battery only mode, then you can use the Razer Hyperspeed connection, which is a 2.4 gigahertz, and you know, you just toggle your switch to the side there if you want to use that, and then that will allow you, well, obviously you plug in the small dongle into the PC that you're going to use, and that will allow you to connect via, you know, a wireless connection. The other option you have is to use a Bluetooth connection, and I guess, you know, depending upon your use of the keyboard, you may prefer that. I think the idea is the Hyperspeed connection is a you know, a faster response time, but the Bluetooth connection, because it won't actually use that dongle, it'll use your Bluetooth on whatever device you've got, you can actually then connect this keyboard up to 3 devices. So if you had a laptop and a PC and maybe a tablet, I guess, that's what you could do here. You could connect that up to those devices, but that's only on the Bluetooth connection, which kind of makes sense given you've only got one dongle there. So no great issue at the end of the day, but nice to see it on this. It's something which I have on the Keychron keyboard and actually use, and it is just a simple process of pressing a key combination and you switch devices. So it's good to see it on this keyboard as well. In terms of switches, so as I say, this one's got the yellow switches, and the Huntsman Mini that I reviewed has the purple switches. Now, just to give you guys a bit of a sound difference, I guess, because this is obviously meant to be a lot quieter in operation. So what I'm actually going to do, I'm going to just put my microphone near to the keyboard whilst I'm typing, and then you can actually hear the difference when pressing the keys. So this is the BlackWidow first. So now I'm going to start pressing the Huntsman Mini. So I know some people, certainly in some of the reviews that I saw of the Huntsman Mini, they weren't overly impressed with the kind of like that clicky noise that the keyboard gave. So if you're after something a little bit quieter, more like a traditional mechanical keyboard, I guess, that's what this specifically gives you there. I just want to bring in the Keychron K8 as a comparison. So this is a slightly large keyboard. It has full separate keys there. They're not they're in the normal grouping. They don't have the normal numeric keypad, but they are in their normal position. So as you can see, that is just another 2 rows beyond this really. In terms of depth, it is very much the same kind of height in the BlackWidow. But I just want to give you an idea of the key sound difference on the Keychron to the BlackWidow. So again, this is the BlackWidow. So I'm just going to let you listen to the Keychron keyboard, and that's got the Gateron switches, which I've always found to be just a little bit too clacky for my liking. So here we go. So I think these keys are actually quite nice. It's a good layout. They all sound pretty good. The spacebar has good stabilizers on it. It feels fairly solid. The backspace and the enter keys, though, I think they're the only 2 keys on the keyboard which actually sound a little bit, shall I say, dodgy in terms of the stabilizers. It just sounds a little bit cheap for those 2 keys. I guess it just depends upon how much you're likely to use those. Again, if you're going to use this as a gaming keyboard, well, it's the WASD, isn't it? You're over here all the time. Maybe with the couple of keys over here, or your mouse or something like that. But if you're going to use this on something productivity or something like that, that noise might just get a little bit, it just feels a little bit cheapened out on. I don't hear that on any of the other keys on the keyboard. They all sound really good, including the spacebar. It's just those 2. So yeah, what I'm going to do now then is I'm going to connect this up to the PC, and then you can just on a wired connection, and then you can see what the RGB is like, and obviously what it looks like when it's lit up. So hopefully you guys can see that. I might just have to turn down the brightness on my my light just so you can you can see the illuminated keys a little bit better. So, you know, your Razer green there, you want to change your colours, it's just function and control, and then, you know, you press one of the numbers and you go into the various different effects. It's got, as I say, you know, you have got the chroma software, so there's lots of other bits and bobs you can do there. One of the nice touches on this is, you know, if you've got caps lock activated, then the key actually stays white, which is neat, and you know, doesn't get affected by any of the modes that you've got in play. So you know, as I just go through some of these here, you know, you'll actually see, you know, that key actually stays as white. Now, I'm not sure whether you'll actually see that on the camera, but pretty difficult to get, to be honest. You know, that obviously there, as I say, is illuminated as well. Would obviously look an awful lot better when it's pitch black, which is how most gamers will use their keyboard. So to sum up, guys, you know, this keyboard is £179. There's a link in the description down below if you are interested in getting one. You know, it's typical Razer peripherals, really. You know, good solid construction, you know, excellent RGB effects on it and things like that. You know, as a keyboard, I think, you know, it's a pretty good size. Obviously, you know, it's got the yellow switches as well, so it gives it that nice sound. And you know, you've got that option, your Bluetooth or your Hyperspeed Wi-Fi connection there. And obviously on the Bluetooth, you know, you can connect to those 3 devices. You know, I think, you know, yes, you know, you could, you know, always get similar kind of functionality from like the Keychron K8, which is significantly cheaper. You know, this comes with a 2-year warranty, the Keychron doesn't, so, you know, that does play quite a bit of a difference. And obviously, you know, there is an element of you paying for the Razer brand name as well. So, you know, if you have a full Razer setup, you know, on your gaming setup, then, you know, I think this will actually complement it really well, to be honest with you. I'm actually going to swap out my Keychron and use this as a my daily driver, as I would say, and just see how I get on with it. You know, it's a larger keyboard than the Huntsman Mini, which I just couldn't use on a daily basis, but this isn't far off the Keychron K8. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you've got any questions on the BlackWidow keyboard, you know, drop them down below. I'll try and answer them for you. If you've got one of these keyboards, do you use it on a daily basis? What's it like for you? You know, have you tried the Huntsman Mini and, you know, you've opted to go for this one? You know, let me know your thoughts down below. But, you know, if you've enjoyed the video, hit the like button. It really does help the channel, believe it or not. And, you know, if you're new to the channel, then hit the subscribe button for more content like this. But as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.